Just wanted to note, since a few things were said about fossil gas, methane gas, characterized, and also its liquefaction as liquefied natural gas, that the science is that fossil gas is as damaging to the climate, given its life cycle over 20 years and the methane leakage, as is coal. So there has been a campaign to call fossil gas clean. That isn't justified. When you do the additional energy to liquefy it, send it overseas, and put in an additional pipe system that also leaks methane, then it's worse than local coal. And the LNG pause that was referred to, it's important to remember that there are an additional 17 licensed projects on top of the 17 that have already been built, and the pause is related to the 25th project. So the implications of saying somehow this is crushing the fossil gas expansion is just absolutely wrong. Now I want to turn to a document that I submit for the record titled Reputational Risks Associated with the Upcoming BP Advocacy Campaign to Protect Cherry Point Refinery's License to Operate. If I could, Mr. Chairman.
Without objection.
And a second document called Creating a Better Environment to Help BP Deliver Its Operational and Strategic Priorities in Washington State.
Also without objection.
What's really interesting about this 2018 document is it lays out BP's plan to defeat a local ordinance, county council ordinance, that would have been pursued in November of 2018 that would have made expansion or upgrade of Cherry Point Refinery more difficult. And it lays out a coordinated plan to get the county commissioners to either amend the ordinance or delay it or to give it up, the three things that are mentioned specifically in here. And they lay out their details. We'll focus on creating jobs. We'll focus on that we are pursuing a low carbon agenda. And then it proceeds to say, but we need a more comprehensive plan for Washington State. That more comprehensive plan is the second document that I just entered into the record. And I think it's a roadmap for often how the oil industry goes about trying to create a media campaign, many features of a media campaign, in order to change how people think about an issue. And this proceeds to say that the challenges we face, quote, will only get worse unless we change the public's perception of us. And end of quote. It goes on to talk about many pieces of that strategy, and those include relying on business trade organizations, partnerships, reaching out to NGOs, to local tribes, to community organizations to build a coalition of supporters, moving a key personnel from Illinois to Washington State, participating in a Washington State Petroleum Association coalition in Washington State, increasing their strength in outside legal counsel to help fight legal battles, increasing the PAC distributions in the state, that is political contributions to politicians, doing a special one-time project promoting salmon hatchery, as a way of creating, hey, we're the wonderful saviors of salmon, spending $300,000 a year on soft persuasion, spending $2.5 million per year, or as much as $4.5 million per year on what it calls hard persuasion. That includes a lot of advertising campaigns, again, media campaigns. It includes an employee contractor education and advocacy program. It includes creating British Petroleum social media identities. I'm not sure exactly what all that means, but I don't know if it's people to weigh in on social media. It talks then about additional funding for lobbyists in Washington State and so forth. So I wanted to ask you, Dr. Supran, this comprehensive document of strategy, is this pretty characteristic of how the petroleum industry, the fossil fuel industry, seeks to really change public perceptions and to influence politicians right down to the local county level to achieve their objectives of expanding fossil fuel refineries, expanding consumption?
Yes, and it constitutes important additional evidence to that effect.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.